Breaking: Elon Musk will attend Trump's first cabinet meeting because he's the real shadow president.
Is Elon Musk going to attend the president's first cabinet meeting tomorrow?
He is, as a matter of fact. I spoke to the president about that before coming down here as well. And Elon, considering he is working alongside the president and our cabinet secretaries, this entire administration will be in attendance tomorrow just to talk about DOJ's efforts and how all of the cabinet secretaries are identifying waste, fraud, and abuse at their respective agencies. We look forward to the meeting tomorrow, and I think you'll be hearing from the president and his cabinet where they're on campus tomorrow. I hope you guys are excited.
So some of those cabinet members were caught off guard by the email from Saturday.
Nobody was caught off guard.
A few departments said they were caught off guard. The FBI was, the DOJ was. Did
anonymous sources say that, or did the cabinet secretary say that?
The cabinet secretaries and others have said that they were not aware that this was happening. So I'm wondering, will there be a give and take tomorrow at the cabinet meeting? Is Elon Musk or the president open to any type of dialogue about who is actually in charge of the chain of command of these workers?
I would reject the premise of your question, Jeff. The cabinet secretaries have not said that. I know anonymous sources, probably career bureaucrats, have leaked that to many of you in this room. But as I said at the beginning of this press conference, everybody is working as one team, and the president respects the decisions of his cabinet secretaries to tell their staff, not to respond to that email because they did so out of interests of national security, and they don't want to obviously risk confidential information. It's pretty common sense. Dasha.
Musk has obviously been doing a lot of work. He's been working every day, and a lot of the time weekends. He is designated as a special government employee, which means that he can only work 130 days per year. Is the White House expecting him to limit his work to 130 days? Or are you going to work around those rules? Do you want to see him extend beyond the 130 days?
So today is February 25th, so I think we've been here about 35 days, roughly. So ask me in another 100 days. Daniel.
Caroline, thank you. You opened up with a major announcement from Apple, $500 billion, 20,000 jobs, doubling its advanced manufacturing fund.
Yeah.
What does that signal that such a global brand would make what it called its largest ever spend commitment just a month into President Trump's second term? What does that signal about his economic vision for the country?
President Trump is a deal maker, and he has restored confidence in business leaders around this entire world. Apple is one of the largest companies on the face of the planet. They employ hundreds of thousands of Americans, but the president wants to see more Americans employed, more investments here in the United States of America. And this is another fulfillment of the president's campaign promises. I recall President Trump at his rallies on the campaign telling the world that if and when I am elected, America is going to be back, and we want your investments to be driven onshore. We want you to hire American workers, and you will have the lowest regulatory burden, the lowest tax cuts, and the president has already proven he's committed to slashing regulation. He's counting on Congress to implement those tax cuts, and so people are encouraged by the president's, again, as Tim Cook called it, they're bullish about American innovation because of the leadership of this president, and it's a stark contrast to the leadership of the previous administration, Joe Biden, who I don't think spent any time trying to recruit any investments or jobs here at home. Mary.
We're hearing from some Republicans who are voicing concerns about how these cuts are being carried out. Congressman McCormick, a Republican from Georgia, tells us he's worried it's too rapid for real people to adapt to. And he says he's concerned that it could come off as discompassionate, in his words, that it could risk undercutting the strong message that he feels you're trying to send about the need to cut government waste.
Well, I think that was one comment from one senator. And I think, as I cited in my opening remarks in the poll, the most important people are the American people, and 77% of Americans at home support a full investigation into the waste, fraud, and abuse that the federal government has been spending their tax dollars on. So that's the people the president cares about most, and that's why we're fulfilling this pledge. And again, it should come as no secret to anybody. The president campaigned on doing this.
The president yesterday said if you don't respond to this email, you will be fired or semi-fired. What does he mean by that?
Again, I've been asked to answer.
Yeah, what does that mean? What does it mean to be semi-fired? Can you explain to us what that means?
To this question 3 times now. It is
semi-fired.
But it's in the memo. The president again has entrusted his cabinet secretaries to oversee their workforce. That's why he nominated them to be cabinet secretaries. And so federal workers can be directed to their agency leadership.
Great, thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about a federal judge.
It's like a little pregnant. Yeah, you're just like semi-pregnant, or when you're semi-dead. You know.
Yesterday was saying that they didn't know who the Doge administrator was and was asking the lawyer for the administration who it was, and the lawyer responded, "I don't know the answer to that. Can you tell us who the administrator of Doge is?"
Again, I've been asked and answered this question. Elon Musk is overseeing Doge. No, Elon Musk is a special government employee, which I've also been asked and have answered that question as well. There are career officials at Doge. There are political appointees at Doge. I'm not going to reveal the name of that individual from this podium. I'm happy to follow up and provide that to you. But we've been incredibly transparent about the way that Doge is working.
We're going to begin with federal workers asking what the heck is going on, among other things they're saying, as they struggle to figure out what is happening with their jobs and make sense of what they're hearing from Elon Musk. Now, as you've heard, he has told them via social media to...
Yeah, you're right. This chatter is also correct. It is interesting, but all of this is named after a cryptocurrency scam, which makes this entire situation even funnier, I guess, if you're on the outside looking in and you think, well, America has destroyed my country, so if that's your attitude, if you're living in the global south or whatever, it's probably a funny ride. Great stuff overall. The enshrification of the American government continues. Fantastic.
To send an email with 5 things they did last week, or else they will lose their jobs. But now they are fighting back with a lawsuit, and they're also showing up at town halls across the country demanding that Congress stand up for them. Weijia Zhang is at the White House with more on the story. Weijia, good morning to you. People getting very frustrated and speaking up.
And the twists and turns keep coming, Gail. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. Elon Musk initially set a deadline of midnight last night for those federal workers to comply with his order to justify their jobs in writing. With just hours to go, Musk backtracked, telling staffers they now have more time. His moves are not only causing confusion, but anger. President Trump praised Elon Musk for threatening to terminate federal workers who do not share 5 accomplishments from their week.
Everyone thought it was a pretty ingenious idea. We have to find out where these people are. Who are they?
But even Trump could not give a definitive explanation about the consequence of not complying.
And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired.
Hours before the midnight deadline, Musk posted on X, subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Then came further guidance from the Office of Personnel Management about the Monday night deadline, saying agency heads may exclude personnel from this expectation at their discretion, but also agencies should consider any appropriate actions regarding employees who fail to respond.
I want to let you know there's a legal and proper way to downsize government.
People are lashing out at their representatives in Congress, like Republican Mark Alford in Missouri at a town hall yesterday.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government.
I think one of the grossest aspects of this is that people just regularly choose not to recognize how little billionaires and CEOs in general do. And it's so annoying that it is the CEOs and billionaires that literally do nothing, like Elon Musk, okay? Elon Musk does so little that he fakes doing nothing by claiming that he's a top level, like highest ranked Path of Exile 2 player. Like that's how little people care about billionaires doing virtually all on a daily basis, that you can basically claim falsely that all you do is play video games as a marketing strategy. Okay? All he does is tweet all day. That's it. All he does is tweet all day, man. A list of 5 things Elon did, 140,000 likes. Dear Elon, here's what I did last week. Got blitzed on ketamine, ignored my children, tweeted 1,782 times, wore weird sunglasses inside, got humiliated by astronauts. Honestly, I think I should be fired for this, but that's your call. Best, John. I mean, this is like, it's just, who needs a CEO? Not Intel. Its stock has soared this month without one. Yeah. He can openly get away with not doing anything, okay, regularly. He can just get away with not doing anything and people still eat that shit up. They lap it up. It blows my mind. It's those people that are turning around and telling you as a federal government employee that you're not doing enough. That's what makes me so mad.
But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
After hearing from furious constituents last week,
a lot of this stuff will be litigated in court, right? Some of it.
Georgia GOP Congressman Rich McCormick now says there should be studies on the impact of mass firings.
If you want to talk about things I'm critical, I think we're just moving a little bit too fast.
I love that the Republicans that are also getting pushback at their town halls, so they have to go back and be like, maybe we're doing a bit much. Perhaps dismantling the administrative state isn't the best idea. You know, you kind of need those guys to make things work.
Robert McCabe, who was fired from the IRS, says he voted for Trump. Now he's stunned over how much power the president has.
I wasn't voting for a king. He has to answer to Congress.
What do you mean you weren't voting for a king? I still don't think this person should have been fired from his job at the IRS. But what did you think was going to happen? You voted for the party that literally said, you and others like you, 85,000 of you, have guns and you're going to go and steal people's trailer parks. They're going to do asset seizures. That's what, God damn, dude. I want to be principled and talk about the humanity of every single person, but some of these make it so hard. You voted for the party that kept saying your office, okay? The 85,000 armed IRS agents are coming to steal all of our money. You voted for that guy. Like, I get it. The Democrats suck, but like, God damn, dude. What the hell did you think was going to happen? Holy moly. What did you think was going to happen?
And that's my big question is where are our congressional leaders?
Where are they? I voted for them. When Donald Trump said he'd be a dictator on day one, okay, I thought to myself, that's my guy. I just didn't think he'd be dictating my job to be removed. I didn't realize that's what that meant.
McCabe says he feels for the federal workers who are agonizing over their futures.
I mean, it felt like we were going into a prison every day, just doing our death march, waiting for the hammer to drop.
Anger is not only starting to boil over at those congressional town halls, there have also been some other public displays of protest. Over the weekend, workers at Yosemite National Park hung an American flag upside down at the El Capitan rock formation. The traditional sign for distress was meant to draw attention.
Elon Musk of Doge.
Rancher who has voted for Trump 3 times shares concerns. Listen, I didn't understand. I thought USAID was doing gay shit. I didn't realize they were responsible for purchasing all my grain and shipping it to Somalia. It turns out the billions of dollars spent on USAID wasn't just on homosexual Marxism in Guatemala. A big part of it was purchasing my grain. All of a sudden, I got a $700,000 hole in my budget. Turns out it was aiding me as well.
Doge has another message for federal workers who don't respond to an email they received over the weekend asking them to justify their jobs or lose them. The deadline for that email was at midnight. But earlier today, the Office of Personnel Management said a response was, quote, not mandatory. And just before airtime, Musk posted this.
Like, the thing I'm the most jealous of always is the fact that Republicans get to do this. Like, they can just cause instability because any kind of trajectory change is going to cause instability, okay? It's going to be a little chaotic in the interim. But Republicans get to do it for all of the worst reasons. Because if you think, like, obviously changing the American healthcare structure and like the abolition of for-profit privatized health insurance is not going to be chaotic, you're wrong. Of course it's going to be chaotic, right? In the interim, there is going to be chaos. But it's for a good purpose, okay? It's for every American citizen getting health care. That's a good thing. Republicans get to do all of this shit, and they do it in the in the opposite direction in a way that harms Americans. And they still get to do it. And they don't even get to suffer the repercussions instantly. I hate it. I'm jealous. I'm just genuinely jealous.
This, quote, subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. A month into the administration, Trump voters seem to be paying attention.
How does getting rid of useless government employees cause harm? Brother, the left can't stop appealing to emotions. Oh, my Lord, dude. Who are you arguing against? Oh, thank God we got hogs in here. Okay, do not ban this person. Okay. Useless government employees is a lie that was told to you. Okay? You just lapped it up because it's your guy saying the lie. If you had ever actually encountered my commentary while the Democrats were in charge, I, unlike many of my Republican counterparts, didn't allow the Democrats to just get away with lying, okay? I routinely criticize them, as I am criticizing the Republican Party right now. The difference between you and I, however, is that when your party, okay, when the party that you align with tells you something, you believe it. That's the problem. Politicians lie. Newsflash, okay? Yeah, if they were getting rid of useless government employees, you would be correct, okay? There would still be financial harm there, obviously, because the government should be a jobs program, okay? I always voted Democrat, homie. I don't care who you voted for, dumbass. You obviously believe what the Trump administration is saying. That is the problem. It doesn't matter if you voted Democrat or Republican. What matters is you obviously believe the propaganda. You believed it. You think that the government is currently getting rid of useless government employees. That is not the case. Okay? Even if they were getting rid of useless government employees, there's obviously still an argument to be made about how we should have all of these jobs. We should have more jobs in the government. Okay? The government should offer more jobs programs to American individuals. Everyone should have a job. But that's not the case anyway, because that's not how the American government operates regardless. We have consistently cut government employees, even though the population has increased year over year. That's why the peak of the government employees was in the 90s. Okay? We've had a lower number of federal government employees since the 90s, despite the fact that our population has increased. The government jobs, on the other hand, have not increased alongside that. Okay? When you say, oh, they're firing useless government employees, you're falling for the propaganda and the lies that the Republican administration is currently telling. That is precisely the reason why when they go back and actually fire thousands of federal employees, like probationary employees, for example, they have to go, oopsie, I guess we f***ed up. Like, for example, I'll give you two examples, okay? Two examples of where they had to go back instantly. Number one, the Department of Energy. You think they're doing, I don't know, gay like climate change subsidies or something. But the Department of Energy actually also controls the American nuclear arsenal. So when they did these mass cuts without actually looking at who they were cutting, they ended up firing the people that control the nukes. So they had to go back and be like, oh, we f***ed up. Can you please come back? Okay. Another example I can give you in terms of federal government employees that they fired was when they went in and fired the people that were actually overseeing the current avian flu. When you go to the goddamn store right now and there are no eggs, you can't buy any goddamn eggs. And I need eggs because I need the protein. The reason for why you can't get those eggs is because of the avian flu, okay? It's ripping through our egg supply. How do you fire the guys who are tasked with trying to stop the spread of the bird flu when there's a major inflationary crisis? Think. That's precisely why they went back and they were like, oops, we f***ed up. Let's hire these guys back. They are not, and they backtracked on the Forest Service as well. This is like a minor part, a minuscule part of the overall budget. The Forest Services are already undermined and underfunded. Okay? Imagine doing this. And this is the reality at virtually every part of the federal government, okay? Virtually every part of the federal government is underfunded and undermined. They need more workers, not less. And we certainly have the money to pay for more workers and not less, except We choose to use our endless, vast amounts of wealth on subsidies for corporations so billionaires and millionaires can turn a tidy profit every single quarter. Okay? This is why I keep repeating the point that they are literally robbing you blind. Okay? These are your tax dollars that they took from you that they're basically giving back to the wealthiest people in American society. And they're cutting jobs, like the decently paying jobs, okay, in comparison to a nation where there is an underemployment crisis at like 28% of the existing labor force, where everyone is a part of the gig economy serfdom at this point. They're cutting some of these stable full-time jobs. What do you think the economic impact of that is going to look like in a couple years? Have you ever ran a business with that many? How do you know they are not useless? How does he know they are? You both don't. Truth always is, it's a little bit of both. Why can't y'all just be honest? The last two things you said are pure propaganda, but you're good with that, right? Yelling at them for listening to right propaganda while listening to CNN. I literally yell at CNN every day. What are you talking about? And not only that, but also the last two things I didn't give you were propaganda. It's the truth of what took place. Planes are falling out of the goddamn sky. And this guy's like, you know what we need to do? Cut the air traffic controllers even further. Anyway, see, he don't get timed out, but I do. Yeah, you do. It is what it is. There's an aviation incident virtually every single day, okay? Wait till they cut TSA. They already did. They already did. All of those cuts actually lead to worse experiences overall. That's the other side of this story, okay? And people don't have the capacity to understand how this actually impacts them. And even while they're experiencing the impacts of those budget cuts, they still think it's actually the workers that are at fault. Okay? When they cut TSA, when they cut the existing TSA workforce, okay, what do you think that happened? What do you think that means for you? If you ever actually have to go and fly, you have to wait in longer lines now. It means you're going to wait in a line, a much longer line, and probably miss your flight. I'm so sick of telling my family members about Trump's ridiculous statement of the day and then having them immediately go, oh, he must have been quoted out of context. There's going to be a lot of that in the interim, okay? There's going to be a lot of people that just hold on to the notion that Donald Trump is Donald Trump is doing great things. Because for a lot of Americans, the reason why they voted for Donald Trump is because of the deep resentment that they feel towards the government that hasn't helped them at all. So they're like, yeah, let's break things. Let's break things and rebuild them. Surely it will be better. So if you're used to nothing, ever changing and your conditions getting worse and worse, then all of a sudden this guy is doing something, right?